Previously on Movie Critisims, it all comes down to this. Evan has finally made it back to his house with the help of his dog Pilgrim, and is now in Luke Lixar's clutches. After trapping Evan in his own hammock, Luke Lixar tells Evan that he had been gone for 10 years, his parents are now dead, and the only way to reverse it all was to review whatever wins the poll for this season finale. So, will Evan budge? And will he finally be able to defeat Luke Lixar? Well, let's find out and finish this. I gotta tell you something right now, so get in your seat and now take a bow, cause we gotta go and start the flick off to the shelf to pick. Oh, we have a show to put on your screen. Trust me now, cause my work's pristine. It's time to critique a classic movie. Let's have some fun and make it groovy. It's movie criticisms of movies, yeah. I said 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 it's... Alright, Evan, you ready to hear the movie that you need to review today?
Yes, please.
No need for sarcasm. Anyway... Ladies and gentlepeople, girls and boys, welcome to the Season 1 finale of Movie Critisims. I'm Luke Lixar, and that over there is my servant, friend, Evan J. Sims. For this final episode, we had given you guys the opportunity to choose what Evan reviews. The choices for the poll were Batman and Robin, Hoodwinked, Tom and Jerry the Movie from 1992, The Secret of NIMH 2, Timmy to the Rescue, The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, and He's Just Not That Into You. In the end, you guys chose The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, starring the late Don Knotts. Well, Evan, now you know what you're critiquing, so get to it.
Yes, Luke Lixar.
The Ghost of Mr. Chicken is a 1966 live-action horror comedy. It stars a neurotic scaredy cat named Luther Heggs, who is a typesetter for Rachel Courier Express. He often hears about an old nearby place called the Simmons Mansion. One day, while at work, the building's janitor, Kelsey, tells Luther the legend of the mansion. According to Kelsey, the house's owner, Mr. Simmons, murdered his wife with a sharp instrument and then committed suicide right afterwards. Kelsey also says that Mr. Simmons' ghost can be heard playing the mansion's organ every midnight. This all has Luther extremely freaked out. Kelsey also encourages Luther to write an original story about his own experiences in the Simmons Mansion. Luther reluctantly agrees, and nights later, he heads off to the Simmons house. While there, though, Luther gets intimidated by loads of startling noises, and sees the organ keys move all by themselves with his own eyes. However, when he tells the public about this, they refuse to believe him. Can Luther prove himself not crazy and show the public the truth?
Now, before I start this review, I must let you know of something very important. You see, for this show, I usually have a total of 5 categories to work with. Content, characters, visual/animation, acting or voice acting, and music. But for this particular episode, there will be 4 categories since this film has no visual effects or animation. So the maximum amount of points the film will earn will be 20, not 25. Okay? With that being said, let's get started.
This movie's best aspect is its sense of humor. Now, what I like the most about the comedy is that it still holds up to this generation. You see, no matter what the genre is, a comedy movie always has to avoid being dated for it to work. a comedy from the 1970s, may be considered hilarious during the time of its release, but maybe not in 2020s. This movie never has a single joke that feels like the 60s. It all feels fresh.
It was terrible. It was just terrible.
Okay, now, Luther, tell us what happened.
It was terrible. It was just terrible.
Oh, no, he's gonna cry.
Now, steady now, Luther. Tell us about it.
It was terrible. It was just terrible. I'll never get over it as long as I live.
Hey, great opening line. I'll never get over it as long as I live. Okay, Luther, go on.
The comedic acting is also spot on and well timed, but we'll dive deeper in that when we get to the acting section. Another thing that I love about The Ghost of Mr. Chicken is that it is one of the few old movies I've seen that actually has a believable romance. The chemistry between Luther and his crush Alma shines so clearly from the screen that you could actually feel sugary yourself. Now, I'm aware that this movie is not going to be for everyone. I would say that if you are looking for a well-aged comedy that pokes fun at the horror genre, then you will probably love this movie. But if you love to be scared and want an actual thrill fest, then The Ghost of Mr. Chicken may kind of disappoint you because while it has some scares and an effective atmosphere, it's mostly played for laughs.
Now, despite my praises toward this film, I have to admit that the film's third and final act is where it starts to fall apart.
You see, after a public tour of the Simmons mansion hosted by Luther himself, the town deems Luther insane. But after everyone leaves, Luther learns from Kelsey that Mr. Simmons did not actually kill himself and has Alma held hostage. Working together, Luther and Kelsey trick Mr. Simmons into exposing himself to the public, and he is arrested. Now, my biggest issue with this climax is that it makes no sense at all. How was Kelsey able to get Mr. Simmons to simply let Luther knock him out when Mr. Simmons is literally aware of the situation? Has he gone insane? Has he been hypnotized? What is happening? This is a very convoluted and messy finale in my opinion. Sometime later, Luther and Alma marry, and we get one last shot of the organ playing by itself. Now, while it is kind of satisfying to see Luther and Alma become one, the wedding goes by quite quickly. So quickly that we don't get enough time to let the emotional weight sink in.
I mean, what would happen if the end of Avengers Endgame ended with a quick epilogue? How would we then be able to fulfill our investment in each of the characters? Huh? I'm gonna give 4 points to the content.
Luther is a neurotic, fast-talking typesetter, and I love him. Like a lot of Don Knotts' characters, there's an incredible balance of hilariously grouchy and adorable humbleness. Alma isn't given much development as a character. In fact, she is the only character who isn't given any depth. Her one and only purpose is to serve as Luther's love interest. She's not even an empowering female character. I'm sorry, but I find her just bland. Kelsey may not have a lot of screen time, but all the scenes he does have are excellent. I particularly love the scene where he tells Luther about the story of the Simmons mansion. It really shows Kelsey's campy side in spite of his elderly age.
I'm going to give 4 points to the characters. The acting is astounding. Every performer gives it their all in this film, and is clearly having a lot of fun on set. Heck, even Joe Owen Staley as Alma is good, even if her character is bland. In a nutshell, the acting is awesome, and I'm gonna give it 5 points. Now, I do think that the best thing about the music is what I call the Ghost of Mr. Chicken theme. It sounds like this. The rest of the soundtrack is good, but just not as good as the Ghost of Mr. Chicken theme, though. Fortunately, though, that is enough to warrant the music 5 points. In conclusion, The Ghost of Mr. Chicken is one of the more underrated 1960s movies in my opinion. It's perfectly aged, incredibly hilarious, and has some sweet moments. If you love Don Knotts, then I'd give it a watch.
The Ghost of Mr. Chicken has received a total of 18 points out of 20, making it a new savior.
So, have you seen The Ghost of Mr. Chicken? If not, do you want to or not, and why? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this review video, then feel free to like, subscribe, and or share. Okay, Luke Lixar, I reviewed The Ghost of Mr. Chicken. Now please undo this all.
Oh, Evan, you are so dumb.
Dumb? What are you talking about?
Well, I suspect you think that this would undo everything that has happened while you were gone. No. That was all a trick. You see, there's a rule in my dimension, and it goes like this. If a movie reviewer critiques a film that you request them to, then you will gain the power to dominate the world.
Oh no. What have I done?
That's right, Evan. You're a fool! I can already feel the power building within me.
Now, Evan, witness the darkness. Face it, Evan. You're nothing compared to me, because I am inevitable.
Hey, Luke! And I am Evan-Man.
Wow!
Mom, Dad! Oh, have I missed you so?
We were literally with you several minutes ago.
Oh, it seems longer for me. Now, if you excuse me, I have some work to do.
Well, anybody up for some pizza?
Well, I guess that wraps up this first season of Movie Critisims. I had a whole lot of fun doing this. But don't worry, I'll be back for next time for season 2. Until then, stay tuned. Evan J. Sims signing out. Peace.